Good afternoon, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being so patient with us. Welcome to the 2020 Virtual Change of Command Ceremony for the SFUSD's JROTC Brigade. My name is Vivian Shen, and today I will be your Master of Ceremonies for the Change of Command ceremony. We extend a special welcome and great thanks to our special guests, alumni, and family of our cadets for taking the time to participate in this event. Although the current worldwide situation keeps us from conducting this ceremony in person, nonetheless, we would still like to recognize the cadets who have fashioned their way to receive a great achievement. Without wait, we will move on to the passing of the colors. The change of command is a simple yet traditional event that is rich with symbolism and heritage. The key to the ceremony is the passing of the San Francisco Junior ROTC Brigade colors. The very soul of a military unit is symbolized in the colors under which it fights, for they represent not only the lineage and honors of the unit, but also the loyalty and unity of its soldiers. The custodian of the colors is the Brigade Command Sergeant Major, who is the senior enlisted soldier in the brigade and principal advisor to the brigade commander. Cadet Command Sergeant Major Jack Carlin will provide the colors to the outgoing commander, Cadet Colonel Stephen Hum, who will then pass the colors back to the Director of Army Instruction, Colonel Col Chicado, representing the return of responsibility that he was entrusted to upon taking command. The Director of Army Instruction will then pass the colors to the incoming commander, Cadet Colonel Nicholas Gaylord, thus demonstrating his confidence in the commander's ability to handle the responsibility of command and to maintain discipline and train the basics of becoming better citizens. Attention to orders. The Director of Army Instruction has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and professional excellence of Cadet Colonel Nicholas Gaylord. In view of these qualities and his demonstrated leadership potential and dedicated service to the United States Army Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, he is therefore assumes command of the San Francisco Junior ROTC Brigade, 8th Brigade of the U.S. Army Junior ROTC Corps of Cadets, effective 31st of July, 2020. Signed, Col Chicado, Director of Army Instruction. Cadet Colonel Gaylord returns the colors back to the Cadet Command Sergeant Major, Jack Carlin. Congratulations to our new brigade commander, Nicholas Gaylord. We all have the greatest confidence that you will lead our brigade with the utmost courage and commitment. Our outgoing brigade commander, Cadet Colonel Stephen Hum, will now say a few words of farewell.
Good afternoon, parents, alumni, instructors, and fellow cadets. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come and watch our chain of command ceremony. Now, the chain of command ceremony represents what JROTC stands for. It stands for leadership and ultimately the passing of the mantle of leadership. And so with this symbolic ceremony, it represents what's new, what's going to change. And this new brigade staff will be tasked with a new challenge, which is COVID-19. The new brigade staff will always have to keep in mind that social distancing, masks, and whatnot are new issues that they will have to face while conducting competitions, parades, military balls, or JCLC camp parks. But I believe that this brigade staff will get through it no matter what. Right? A big thing I say to my cadets all the time is adaptability is key. No plan is going to go planned, right? You always have to be ready to tackle what's thrown at you. And brigade staff is all about that, right? Let's talk about what experiences they're going to have, right? They're not going to have those in-person experiences, but any experience that comes from doing any brigade work regarding interpersonal skills, communication, even personal winning colors, right? Those are the things that they're going to learn and hopefully pass down to future cadets, right? I remember when I was a freshman, right, standing information at Ocean Beach Cleanup. I would never have imagined to become the brigade commander 4 years ago. Um, I'm pretty sure every single brigade member here would recall glancing at brigade staff and thinking, wow, they're so cool, right? But being on brigade staff is more than a position and more than a rank, right? As I mentioned before, it's more about the experience of being a leader, about gaining those experience that will help you in the future. To those instructors, to my fellow cadets, thank you for being there in my journey throughout JROTC, not just as a commander, right? A few words to my new staff, or Nick's new staff, is always put your cadets first, right? They're not numbers on a spreadsheet. They're not um, just numbers, right? They're cadets and they're your family, right? JROTC I would consider as my second home, and Colonel Chicado and I are entrusting you to keep that legacy going, keep that mantle of leadership going, um, and ultimately keeping it as one brigade. Back to you, S1.
We thank our outgoing commander, Stephen Hum, for his outstanding leadership and responsibility of the San Francisco JROTC Brigade. We wish you well and good luck in the next chapter. Cadet Colonel Nicholas Gaylord will now give a few words of appreciation and introduce you to the new brigade staff members.
Well, thank you, Vivian. First off, I want to say thank you for everyone for coming out today, as well as thank you, Colonel Chicado, for entrusting me with this great honor and opportunity. Throughout my time at JROTC, I've definitely strived to be in the position I am today. Again, as Stephen said, the first time I saw Brigade Staff, I honestly didn't even know who they were. But later I figured out that that's one of the highest honors that you can ever get, being in the SFJROTC Brigade. But also, what I have now it's a landmark in my life. I remember the first time I came to RO, the main conception of it was either it was just a leadership program or it was simply a way to get out of PE. And although I knew at the time it was much more than that, I never imagined that it would ever be, my perception of it would be this large. Not only is JROTC a leadership program where you can hone your abilities and skills in a leadership role, but it is also a brotherhood, a siblinghood of sorts. I remember during competitions, I would my teams, especially color guard, which was my main upbringing, we would practice for hours on end, making sure our drills were precise. And in fact, my old commander, we made a very strong friendship, and we still hold that to this day. And then also with JCLC, for example, not only was I able to reinforce the bonds with my fellow cadets from my battalion, but also reach out to other cadets from other battalions and grow everlasting friendships with them. And although RO isn't the only thing I've done in my high school career, I must say it is the defining factor of my high school. And going back to the leadership aspect of JROTC, JROTC has given me the great opportunity in order to not only hone my leadership abilities, but to also grow them and expand them. And it is because of JROTC that I am the person I am today. And because of that, I'm so grateful to have had this opportunity. I just recently went through a summer program called 4-Star Leadership. I won't get into the details, but it was a great program. And one thing they told me really resonated with me. It was about how we perceive problems. If someone were to perceive a problem as a simple problem, then we would only be held down by that problem. We would only be held down and kept at that position. But if we see a problem as a challenge to overcome, then by God, we will overcome that, and we will grow as people. And I'm not only eager to take on challenges, but I'm eager to take on all challenges, regardless of what they may come. as from challenges, that is how we grow as human beings. And this COVID-19 situation is one of these major challenges. As we can see now that we can't do our change of command ceremony in person, and as such, we've had to go online. But this change of command ceremony here was one of the many challenges that not only myself, but my brigade staff and the brigade as a whole will have to face and overcome. But at the end of the day, when we are finally let outside of our houses, when we can finally go within 5 feet 11 inches of our friends, we will not only get back to that pre-COVID state, but we will also be better. We will also have grown as people, as it is from these challenges that we will grow as people. And especially with COVID-19, which will be one of the defining moments in our lives, and we'll be telling our kids, oh, you're too sick to go to school? Well, guess what? We went to school during a global pandemic. You can go. It's fine. But looking forward to this year, there's going to be many challenges. And not only has JROTC given me the abilities to take on these challenges, but it has also given others, and especially those on my staff, who I must say are some of the finest cadets that I've ever met and worked with. It gives these people the ability to take on and overcome the challenges. Speaking of which, I will now, I gotta change the slides real quick. It is now my great honor and opportunity to introduce this year's Brigade's command and staff. As my brigade executive officer, I have Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Mary Mungabat from George Washington High School. As my brigade command sergeant major, I have Cadet Command Sergeant Major Jack Carlin from Lowell High School. As my brigade adjutant, I have Cadet Major Vivian Shen from George Washington High School. As my brigade security and intelligence officer, I have Cadet Major Maricar Escoval from Balboa High School. As my brigade operations and training officer, I have Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Shivalika Javua from George Washington High School. As my brigade S4 supply and logistics officer, I have Cadet Major Veronica Ventura from Lowell High School. As my brigade public affairs officer, I have Cadet Major Dora Dew from Mission High School. And finally, as my brigade communications and technology officer, I have Cadet Major Noel Alegre from George Washington High School.
Congratulations to everyone on the new brigade staff. The Director of Army Instruction, Col Chicado, will now say a few words with the recent addition of Colonel Bullard.
Distinguished guests and San Francisco JROTC Brigade cadets, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy day, out of the long summer that we're having, to join us for today's change of command ceremonies. A change of command is normally a very happy time. The outgoing commander gets the opportunity to say, thank God I'm done with that. And the incoming person gets to say, boy, I want to do a whole bunch of stuff. Although I'm just kidding, it's also true with the instructor staff as well. Colonel Bullard finally got tired of me telling him giving him various ideas and thoughts of things to do. And he finally said, George, why don't you do this? And so I've assumed a greater portion of the responsibility for the brigade, although Lieutenant Colonel Bullard will continue to remain as an instructor and to continue to support activities at the brigade level, as will all the instructional staff. But since this is his actual last opportunity to speak, well, probably not, but since it's the last formal opportunity that we had, I wanted to turn the floor over to Lieutenant Colonel Douglas E. Bullard for a few of his comments. Colonel Bullard.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I want to thank Vivian. You've done a great job narrating the ceremony, and I really appreciate that. I really think we've got a great staff put together, and you're going to have a fun year in spite of the obstacles that we've been presented with. Stephen and Nick, you guys have sort of been the dynamic duo over the past couple of years. I'm sorry you weren't at Lowell, but you've been that Lincoln duo that has really, in many ways, been the heart and soul of the brigade over the past year, especially. Leadership comes in a lot of forms, and Stephen, I think you did something that a lot of leaders fail to do, but all good leaders do. And that is, you had a vision. You had something in mind that you wanted to leave behind, a legacy, if you will. And for me, it was your continual effort to understand the importance of our connections with the community, with the student leadership community, with the adult leaders, school board, and so on. And I think you have really motivated and inspired us to push forward in that area and have many of our students that are in JROTC involved with the other student leadership groups in the city. And that is a significant accomplishment, and frankly, not one that most young leaders would even think about taking on. So I just want to congratulate you for that. I think you've established some momentum in that area. Leadership comes in all forms, and Nick, no one in the brigade, and I don't have the data to show this, but I don't think there's another person in this brigade that has dedicated as much time and effort to this program as you have. Every volunteer event, in fact, I have to say that many times the volunteer events that we've done were spearheaded by you and Stephen there at Lincoln. And that is probably one of the most important marks of a leader. You roll up your sleeves, you dig in, and I know you're going to do a superb job as the brigade commander this coming year. Every crisis presents an opportunity. And yes, this is going to be a different year. Hopefully we'll get back in person sometime soon. But I think, as Nick alluded to, you're going to learn a lot, regardless of what mode we're going to be operating in. In fact, that you have this brigade and this organization to work with and to experiment with in this environment is probably going to prepare you for what we'll see much, much more of in the future. Because when we come out of this thing, things are going to be different, and the experience you guys are having with running this brigade and being part of this brigade, and the way that you have to do that are techniques and things that you're going to have to master in this new environment. So I'll stop there. I just want to thank Colonel Chicado. He has done so much to help keep this program together. I have taken a lot of his guidance, most of his guidance, and I really appreciate everything he's done. And with that, I will turn it back over probably to the Brigadist one, I guess.
Thank you, Colonel Bullard and Colonel Chicado, for your words of inspiration. This concludes the change of command ceremony. We thank you very much for watching, and we hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to take many precautions during this unprecedented time, such as wearing a mask or having hand sanitizer at the ready. Thank you, and stay safe.